The Istanbul agreements remain on the table and can serve as the foundation for continuing these negotiations.
Let's further discuss this now with Murat Aslan. He's an assistant professor of security studies at Hasan Kalyoncu University and joins me now live from the Turkish capital, Ankara. Thank you so much, Professor, for being with us on the program. So what do you make of Putin's remarks? Will this lead the two sides back to the negotiating table?
Thanks for having me, Afnan. First of all, we have to understand exactly what was the agreement. Agreement requires the export of Ukrainian grain through the Istanbul Straits and by maritime trafficking. On the other hand, the Russians would have privilege to export their goods to the world market. In this sense, what Putin says or indicates is very easy. He wants to have a reciprocal pledge from the West that they can easily export their goods, especially of agriculture and also fertilizer. And at the expense of this attempt, Ukraine may restart export of grain, maybe for a world food prices stability.
Right, and Turkey, as we know, has played an important role in mediating the war between the two sides. Do you think that Erdogan will use his leverage on Ukraine and Russia, for that matter, to reignite those peace talks?
It was a trilateral arrangement, as you may remember. Russia and Ukraine indirectly communicated with each other by the facilitation of both the UN and also Turkish officials. In this sense, Zelensky, it was several months ago, indicated a several mechanism to communicate with Russia to resolve the conflict, but with some preconditions. So this mechanism has become a model. Either Turkey or another country, but mainly Turkey is much more prone to facilitate both, may play a role promoting the diplomatic channels and efforts to resolve the conflict or maybe to re-establish a grain status quo.
And it was interesting to hear Putin comment on the situation in the U.S. in terms of the elections. He said that Russia's relationship with the U.S. And dialogue with the U.S. at this point is impossible with the Biden administration, and that they're waiting to see what happens during the elections. If Trump wins, how will that change the dynamics of the war in Ukraine?
I think we should go and check exactly what Trump is inclining to do to end the Ukraine war or communicate with Russians, and also Biden's existing policy. Trump is much more open to communicate with Putin and to terminate maybe Ukrainian conflict, but also at the expense of Ukrainian interests. On the other hand, Biden is much more determined to provide support Zelensky-led Ukraine. In this sense, that's normal and acceptable that for Putin that Trump is much more favorable for Putin's agenda.
All right, Murat Aslan, thank you so much for being with us here on the News Hour and sharing that analysis with us. I appreciate it.